New to investing and don't know where to start? Today, I'm going to be breaking down what ETFs are, why they're perfect for beginners, revealing the top 5 UK accessible ETFs, and giving you the average 10-year return. An ETF is an exchange-traded fund. Now, when investing, unlike picking an individual stock, such as Apple or Tesla, you can buy an ETF, which has a bunch of stocks wrapped in one. And what this does is it essentially spreads the risk. For example, I could have an ETF that has Apple stock, Tesla stock, Nvidia stock, and Microsoft stock. Now, if I've got £1,000 invested and all four have £250 in them, if one stock goes to zero, I don't lose my entire investment. I only lose 25%. Now, some of the reasons that you might want to look at an ETF versus individual stocks are the fact that it's diversified. Some of the ETFs have thousands of companies spread across all different industries. By doing this, it's really simple to trade because you're only buying one product. And historically, ETFs are quite cheap to manage, so the fees that you pay are lower than holding individual stocks. They're essentially a perfect beginner-friendly way of investing because it's a stock portfolio made up from the start. This makes them great for long-term appreciation. Now, when looking at the top 5 ETFs, we're going to have a benchmark of 10%. Now, the reason for that is that inflation fluctuates anywhere between 2.5% and 12%. So we're going to set our benchmark at 10. So let's break down the top 5 beginner-friendly ETFs. Number 1 is the Vanguard FTSE All-World ETF. Companies include Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia, and even the car manufacturing Toyota. Now, the approximate 10-year return is 9.47%, which is pretty good. Now, the reason you should consider it is a great holding for a one-stop shop. It gives you access to a large proportion of companies, and it gives you a rough estimate of around about 9.5% to 10% per year. Number 2 on this list is probably the most popular that most people know about. It's the Vanguard S&P 500. It tracks the top 500 companies within the United States. Apple, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, all of these companies feature within this ETF. Now, over the last decade, the S&P has averaged between 11 and 12% returns, which is better than our 10% benchmark. The reason that this should be part of your consideration is that it's an engine of growth. American companies are geared towards the growth of their market cap, and we can see that the S&P 500 holds the largest companies in the world. Next is the FTSE 100 iShares Core. Similar to the S&P 500, the FTSE 100 takes the top 100 companies within the United Kingdom into its ETF. Companies such as HSBC, BP, AstraZeneca, and Unilever make up part of this ETF. The UK hasn't done as well as its American counterpart over the last 10 years, with a 10-year return being between 5 and 7%. Why should you consider it if the returns are so low? You should consider it as a exposure to UK growth if you believe in the UK market, and if the American market can perform at 11 to 12%, then maybe the UK is undervalued. Number 4 on this list is the iShares Core MSCI World ETF. This ETF holds over 1,500 developed market stocks, ranging from the US to Europe to Japan. Now, the performance over the last decade for this ETF is between 8 and 10%, which is slightly lower than the S&P 500. Now, the reason that you should consider this is that this ETF cuts out emerging markets for slightly smoother growth. So you're not going to see the sharp uptrends and the deep downtrends. Now, last on this list is the iShares Physical Gold ETF. Now, these holdings are actual gold. It's not stocks. It's not companies that own gold. You trade your cash for physical gold. Now, over the last 10 years, gold traditionally trends at around 4 to 5% a year, which is no better than a savings account. However, it holds up extremely well when stock markets are in turbulence. We've seen gold rise when all other stocks are falling. Now, this year alone in 2025, gold has actually performed at 42%. So the need for gold is growing, and had you invested that, you'd have beaten the stock market in nearly every one of these ETFs. Now, our past isn't a playbook for the future, but it gives you some information and some history and results that you can make better judgments for the future with. ETFs are beginner friendly without needing an expert to walk you through your investment journey. It has built-in safety across a diverse portfolio. It's also very hands-off. You can buy the ETFs in this list and do nothing with it. Pay a monthly fee and then it's totally managed for you. Keep it in line with your personal goals. Some of these ETFs might not be right for your investment journey. Always start small, learn, understand the market, and then as you grow, as you get more knowledge, start putting in more money to what you think will go up in value over time. So drop your thoughts below. Let me know what ETFs you invest in, or whether you don't invest in ETFs at all. My name's David. Hopefully you found this helpful, and thanks for watching.